And we're live. What's up? What's up? What's up? Just hitting the quick live button on Instagram. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Going Bold Wednesdays. Welcome to the Going Bold Network. You are watching WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. I am your host, Dr. Christopher Salute. You are watching The Barber Shop. I do need a haircut, so don't judge me. I'm going to see my fabulous stylist tomorrow. Tonight, we're talking about ditching the dating app. Should you ditch the dating app? Yes or no? And we're going to talk a bit about what ditching the dating app looks like, why you might want to ditch the dating app, that kind of thing. And we're not talking about ditching the dating app while if you're not single, right? If you're seeing someone. I'm talking about ditching the dating app if you are single, to try to find a date somewhere else, okay? As always, or as usual, this show is brought to you by Bold Magazine, Fabi Plus Magazine, Strutter Magazine, Bold Brand Management, That Professor Life Consulting, and all the other wonderful affiliates that we've got here on the show. So what's going on with me? We'll talk about what's going on with me for a couple of seconds. Then we'll talk about what's going on with the network. Then we'll talk about what's going on in all other areas of life. Number one, what's going on with me? Job is going great. I'm back to consulting again, still teaching a little bit. Hey, Romy, how are you? People are commenting here on Instagram. Books are going really well. Have one on the way. Another 2 should be done soon. What's going on with Bold and Fabi Plus? We're going to be doing a huge 120-page Fabi Plus magazine coming soon. Super excited about that. It's going to include the Bold magazine inside it. It's going to include the Strutter magazine inside it as well, and it's going to include some snippets from our new magazine, Matters Magazine, as well as maybe some surprises, depending on what we can fit in there. But if you want to get involved with Boulder Fabi Plus, give me a buzz. We are looking for advertisers. We are looking for people who want to write articles. We are looking for people who want to sell advertisements. So let me know what's up. What's going on with me personally? You know, my life's always crazy. I'm starting to settle down a little bit. I have deleted most of my dating apps as well. Started to talk to somebody who I really like. Romy says, I'm doing well. How's your evening going? My evening is going splendidly. It is 7:02 here in Vegas, and I'm going to be honest, by 7:45 when the show is over, I'm going to bed because I'm freaking exhausted. It's been that kind of a week, because I like to wake up around 4:30 in the morning. But I hope you're doing well, Romy, as well. So what's up with the network? The network is doing really well. We are building out our new site. We're super excited about building out our new site, so you're going to see that soon. Look, here's the deal. If you love what you are seeing and you are a business owner, get involved. I mean, it's like $100 to sponsor a show, dude. It's crazy. Like, get involved. The prices are going to go a lot higher soon, so let us know, because we're building out our media kit. We've got some sales reps. As always, we want to take a quick moment of silence and or prayer for those in our life who need it. I am a prayer, and that doesn't mean you need to be a prayer, but I am a prayer. So I'm going to take a moment of silence and pray for some special folks. I would like you to put some positive energy out into the aura that is the universe and do your thing. So with that, let's take our moment. It's as simple as that. Just put some positive stuff out into the ether. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about ditching the dating apps. We're talking about talking to folks in person, and how are we going to do that? So if you've seen the show before, you know that I have done this 1,001 times. What do we typically like to do when we talk about a new topic? I always like to bring up a couple of movies and TV shows that have to do with, talking to folks in person, picking up somebody at the bar, whatever it is. So the couple of movies that I want to bring up, number 1 is Hitch. Number 2 is What Women Want. Number 3 is Swingers, which is not what you think. Number 4 is Coming to America, the old one, the original one, the OG. And then I thought the show Bel Air was kind of, we could talk about Bel Air for a second as well. So let's first talk about Hitch. If you've seen Hitch, you know the story. He's a dating coach, but he's a true dating coach, kind of like I am, in that we're not trying to teach you how to pick up people. We're trying to teach you how to make your relationship successful, right? And what he does is he puts people in a situation where they can be successful. So he's got this guy Kevin James, and Kevin James is a bit of a dork, and he puts him in a situation where he can showcase his talents, which are, he's an intelligent dude. He takes over a room when he talks about certain things, and so he gives you an opportunity to shine. I call that an unfair advantage. I don't think that's a terrible thing, right? You may think it's a terrible thing. I don't think it's terrible. But he puts you in a situation where you don't need the app, where you can shine, right? Then we've got this movie, What Women Want. If anybody's seen What Women Want, I freaking love What Women Want. It's amazing. One of my favorite parts of that particular movie is the fact that this dude can think about what women want. And in essence, I mean, that's what you need to do when you're in a situation when you're not on a dating app. And I'll be perfectly clear about this. I do better on dating apps than I do in person, because I get flustered when I see somebody pretty. I get flustered. Oh, I don't know what to say to this person. Like, what am I going to say? And they're like, they want to be playful with me. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I just don't know how to respond. So What Women Want, this guy, Nick, he understands women, and he does so because he can react with their brains, he can see inside their brains. And so in essence, that's what you want to be, right? When you're in a situation at a bar, or you're at a library, or you're at a church, or you're at a family barbecue, or whatever, you want to be able to think what this person's thinking, so you can figure out if they like you or not, and if they do, how to get them to talk to you a little bit more, right? Then we've got the movie Swingers, which I absolutely love. Who here has seen Swingers? Let me know if you've seen Swingers. It is top 5 of my favorite movies of all time. If anybody, mostly men, but probably works for women too, if you just do a gender role reversal. But if any man in my circle is ever down, I sit him down and we watch Swingers. I had a buddy come to me, super forlorn, had a woman he wanted to, he really wanted to be with. The woman was not seeing things his way, and so she didn't want to be with him, and that was that. And so he came by, and I said, this was years ago, I said, yeah, let's sit down and watch Swingers. And he's like, Swingers? Like a swinger party? I'm like, no, dude, it's a movie. It has nothing to do with actual swinging. It's swing dancing. But Swingers is basically about Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, and they are, is my glass leaking? Is it busted? The glass might be shattered. Why is it leaking? But basically, Jon Favreau's Forlorn. Oh, Adam Ford says, great movie. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Yeah, I knew you had good taste. So Jon Favreau's forlorn about this woman, but really he's the one who left New York. And so she blames him. He blames her, yada, yada, yada. And everyone's like, bro, you got to get over it, right? You got to get over it. How do you get over it? Well, you got to start talking to women. You got to start doing your thing. And he can't find his mojo, and he can't, all these other guys are hitting on women and they're doing his thing. And they tell him, bro, like, you've got the stuff. You just have to believe you've got the stuff, and then go out there and show them your stuff, And so it was a really cool movie. And so, like, anybody who's going through a breakup, typically men, I would say, that's the kind of show, without a doubt, you want to show them, because that's definitely a helpful, situation in which you can really help them be awesome. Then, third or fourth on the list, I've got Coming to America. I think Coming to America is a phenomenal movie about not seeing people on dating apps. So if you haven't seen Coming to America, it's in the 80s. Eddie Murphy's trying to find the queen for his kingdom back in Africa. And he goes to Queens, New York, because he thinks that's where all the queens are. And he's not wrong. There are a lot of queens and queens. And, he's just talking to these women, and he puts himself in these situations, and he gets to know them, and, all these types of things. But, in every single one of these movies, right, whether it's Hitch, What Women Want, Swingers, or Coming to America, or I threw in the TV show Bel Air, because I just started watching Bel Air. If you haven't started watching Bel Air yet, you should watch Bel Air. It's the new remake of the Will Smith movie, or the Will Smith TV show, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And Bel Air is about Will Smith and all this kind of stuff. But I found it very interesting, because even in the show Bel Air, Jeffrey, the house, they don't call him butler, they call him housemaster, or they call him head of the house, I think is what they call him. He's like going out with it, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going out with this girl from blah blah blah. It was like church group or barbecue or whatever. And I thought, even in this show, we've got people who are, not dating on dating apps. They're meeting people in other situations. Now, why do I think it's so valid? First of all, why is it entertaining? It's entertaining because you're not going to watch a movie about people doing this all day, right? Like, grab my phone. Hold on. Just like, oh, shoot, I just opened Instagram. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to, like, swiping all day. Like, that's boring, right? It's boring to sit in front of a computer, which is not It is how we live our lives, unfortunately, but it's not how we should live our lives. And you're not going to be doing that in front of a partner all day, right? So how do you meet these people? How do you meet people in a way that's organic? Well, all those movies, Hitch, What Women Want, Swingers, and Coming to America, all emphasize basically the same thing, and that is you need to put yourself in a situation where you can showcase your talents, where you can showcase who you are. For me, a bar, not happening. Never gonna be. And when I was younger, maybe, because I was like suave and stupid, probably hit on whoever. But I'm never gonna be successful in a bar ever. And the reason I won't be successful in a bar, this is definitely leaking. It's 100% leaking. Hold on. The reason I'm not gonna be successful in a bar is because it's loud. I can't talk in a bar. Like nobody looks at this and is like, man, I gotta have me a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? Like dad bod for life. Like, do I work out 4 or 5 days a week? Absolutely, I work out 4 or 5 days a week. But I also eat tacos. Like I like tacos. I eat ice cream. I like ice cream. I eat pizza. I eat sushi. Like, you want to impress, you want to have a good date with me, like I'm not finger fooding this with you. Like, let's get all you can eat sushi. Let's unbutton the top button of our pants, and not in a sexual way. And let's go watch a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. So at a bar, I'm not the dude who's going to like, you know what I mean? I'm not the dude who's going to like make it, make it work at a bar. Like, I'm just not suave like that. What did you do for the person you're talking to? I don't know what that means. What did you do for the person you're talking to? I have no idea what that means. But thanks for watching, Jamie. And on that note, you've been watching on Instagram for about 10 minutes. And so I am going to let y'all go. And if you want to watch the rest of the show, it's right on my Shoreby, or you can check out my Instagram stories. And or we'll see you on TikTok. See y'all soon. So we're going to be uploading TikTok in a second, but a little bit about what works for me is I'm definitely not the guy who is going to be successful in a bar. I'm going to be the kind of guy who's successful, out for coffee or in a group setting where I can kind of take over the room, or, you know what I mean? Because I tend to be a charismatic guy when I can actually speak, or, I do tend to do okay on dating apps because I can collect my thoughts, but that's not necessarily what I want to be doing, right? So what works for other folks? I mean, you need to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be successful, right? And that's women, men, whoever, you know what I mean? So let me switch over to TikTok and then we'll continue on with the rest of the story. So let's do this, add live, and then we'll say ditching the dating apps. Ditching the dating apps. Cool. Sorry that when you're not on TikTok and Instagram, you're watching me go through this process, but I don't know. That's like kind of behind the scenes, right? What's up? So we've gone through the movies. We've gone through Hitch, What Women Want, Swingers, Coming to America, Even Bel Air. All of these movies, right, are putting you in a situation where you can be successful if you're not using a dating app, right? So whether it's church, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's the library, whether it's a group setting, a meetup, whatever, you want to find the setting that's gonna showcase your talents. Look, if your talents are that you're super hot, then go to the bar because you can't hear anything. Like there's this, and if you're watching on TikTok, we're live streaming as well on StreamYard. We're talking about ditching your dating apps. But there's like this funny line in the Batman movie, the Dark Knight, where he's like out with this beautiful woman, and she's like, "Can we go somewhere quiet so we can hear each other talk?" And he's like a gangster, and he goes, "What makes you think I want to hear you talk?" Because clearly he didn't value her words, right? So Elena says, "Good, I have Facebook too. I need to learn this. So bad at dating and too rusty." Well, you come to the right place. I feel like while I would love to get more men on my show, we tend to give more advice to women for sure. Mana says, "No one I've seriously been with has been because we met on a dating app." I'm trying to think if I've ever met someone serious on a dating app. Yes, I have. I dated somebody for almost 2 years that I met on a dating app. Prior to that, and after that, I mean, I dated somebody for 4 or 5 months from a dating app. So that was okay. No, most of my significant partners were either I met in person, I met through friends of friends, or I met through, social media because I tend to do a lot on social media and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're probably right. So how did this show come about? How did we go from, somebody like me who's constantly talking about dating apps to wanting to ditch the dating app? Well, there's a couple of reasons, right? Number one, if you follow me on, I don't care if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, freaking Pinterest, I don't care what you follow me on. I absolutely hate the online world. I hate it. I hate social media. Am I good at it? Yeah. Am I addicted to it? Yeah. Do I hate it? Yeah, I hate it. Because we're sitting here on these stupid devices and we're swiping and we're doing this thing and we're tagging, we're doing this stuff. And it's like, bro, nobody has any brain other than how to use this phone. And it's like, there are 1,000,001 things that you can be doing other than playing on this phone, right? So it's like, why you're going to take the one pure thing that you've got in life, which is love, and you're going to put it on an app on your phone. I remember when I first started dating, I remember because I was divorced, right? So I got divorced a little bit before the age of 30, or at least the divorce process started. Unfortunately, in New York, it takes a little bit of time. And I remember I started dating and I'm thinking, and literally, right, I could download Netflix. Back then it was Grubhub, now it's DoorDash, Tinder, right? So without any human interaction, I could Tinder swipe somebody, match with them. I could DoorDash some food. I could put on a movie from Netflix, right? They could Uber to me. That's 4 apps that makes meeting a complete stranger totally, totally accessible. Is it a good thing? No, I really don't think it is, because it makes things too easy, and to the point where you have someone in your home who you're probably going to sleep with. Let's be real about this, right? You're probably going to sleep with that person. You don't even know how they take their coffee in the morning. You don't know what their favorite color is. So am I good at doing things online, social media? Yeah. Am I good at talking to people online on a dating app? Yeah, I'm way better because I can think, because I'm an intelligent human being. I'm not, this ain't getting it done, right? But when you speak to me, you're like, oh, that dude's pretty hot because he's got like a pretty decent brain, right? But do I like it? No, I think we're completely lost with these dating apps. Then pair that with, I've been kind of, thinking a lot about my own personality and my own brand. And I remember, back in the day, I was like a pretty social dude. I really enjoyed being social. And, if you followed me on TikTok or Instagram, mostly TikTok, you saw that I was talking to somebody, and a little bit seriously, we did some stuff, and she was, my second celebrity crush. The first one I was engaged to, but my second one. And, oh, what's up, Omar? How are you doing, man? Just, chilling, talking about dating apps. So, I get to know this celebrity crush of mine, and we start talking, we meet up, and we get to know each other and these types of things. And, we still talk for a while later. And, it really threw me for a loop, because it sucked. It absolutely sucked that I met this person who I thought was this beautiful person and beautiful inside here, and it killed me. Absolutely killed me that she didn't want to continue it, and we weren't a good fit. So what do I do? I'm already a certified life coach, dating coach, relationship coach, all these things. So I start talking to my people, right? I start talking to the people that I know who can get me out of this thing. And I'm like, bro, you got to help me out, man. Like, I'm like, either I got to get her back or I got to forget about her, right? And so they go, okay, cool. So, he's like, hey, walk me through a couple of things, talk to me about it, and whatever. And the number one thing that he tells me, and it's like what I tell everybody else, is go back out there, right? But don't go back out there on a dating app, because going back on a dating app is like such a ridiculous notion, because you're literally going to be sitting at home doing your thing. So he says to me, go out, approach some people at a bar. You know what I mean? Approach some people out at a grocery store, approach some people, whatever. And let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you how freaking valuable that was. It was so valuable. Alexa Star and Chris, hey, how are you? It was so valuable, because what I got to do was interact with actual human beings, right? At bars, restaurants, grocery stores, dude, wherever. I would see somebody who looked attractive, and I would flirt with them, and I'd see if, maybe they'd want to get coffee or dinner or whatever. And you know what? half the time they didn't. They were taken, or it was just, what the heck are you approaching me at a bar for, or at a grocery store? But you know what? Half the time they did go on a date with me, and I thought to myself, what a novel idea! What a novel idea to say, hey, I'm going to meet you at a place where we both do things, right? Whether it's yoga or the gym or church or a barbecue or a park, and just approach somebody and be like, hey, do you want to go out? Or, hey, I'd like to get to know you. Or just sit next to them and be like, hey, can I sit next to you and get to know you right now? You know what I mean? Some people are like, oh, that's creepy, but you can say no, right? Which I never did that. But the point is, there are a lot of things that you could be doing other than going on these like ridiculous dating apps. So at this point, TikTok, we've got to say goodbye to you. To my folks on Facebook and YouTube, we have to take a little break for our sponsors. We got to pay the bills. If you're on TikTok or you've been on Instagram and now you're on TikTok, you know where to find us. Go over to my Shorby. It's right on there. You'll see the link to go to the page where all of the lives are. Or, you can just go to Facebook and type in WGSN-DB and figure that out, and then you'll see where we're at. And we are talking about ditching the dating app and finding opportune moments to meet people organically. We will see you later, and I will see you after the break. You're watching WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. I'm Dr. Christopher Salute, and you're watching The Barbershop. And we're back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. What did I just give myself a handshake like I'm my own friend? What a loser. Where you're watching WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. I am your host, Dr. Christopher Salute. You're watching The Barbershop on the Going Bold Network on Going Bold Wednesdays. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We've been talking about what happens when you ditch the dating apps. And I'm not talking about ditching the dating apps because you've got someone. I'm talking about ditching the dating apps because you really want to find someone, right? Now, if you know me, I talk about dating apps a lot. You know that I'm pretty good on them. I talk about, why they're good for me. They're good for me typically because I'm a cerebral guy. I'm an intelligent dude, so I can think about it in a response and kind of be a little bit more charismatic and quirky, right? Doesn't mean I like them, right? I still think it's a cat and mouse game. And I still think you're really not getting to know somebody, right? Because getting to know somebody is here, right? It's not even here. It's forget the camera. It's in person, right? It's when you get to know somebody, it's like, all right, what do you smell like after you like shovel the snow? Like, what does your breathing sound like after you eat half a pizza with me and we're watching TV? What are you? How does your laugh sound? You know how annoying some people's laughs are? You're not going to find that on a dating app. You got to find that in person, right? And we go through all these online dating things to find each other. And then you get on a date and it's like you could have figured it out 2 months ago if you just went on the date earlier, right? So let's talk a little bit about, we talked a bit about some movies. We talked a bit about how this came about. Now, look, there are movements on this. Some folks are saying, hey, ditch the dating apps. There's whole movements about, ditching the apps and meeting people that way. And there are pros and cons. You got to watch out what you're reading, right? Because there's a whole damn group of these pickup artist guys, and they're not my guys, right? I do, like I said, I'm a life and dating and relationship coach, and I have my own life and relationship and dating coaches as well. These folks that coach me are not pickup folks. They are folks who help you showcase who you are, right? And that's what I always, when I coach my people, I'm going to showcase who you are and put you in a position to be successful, right? Whereas typically I find that these dating coach folks who are these pickup guys, they tend to be more, scripted. This will work on anyone. Okay, well, then I don't want it. because I don't want anyone. I want the person that I want. You know what I'm saying? So my experience, as you know, I was pretty successful online, right? I mean, I've been on dating apps before. I mean, did I meet? No, I didn't meet my ex-fiance on a dating app. I Instagrammed her. I followed her on Instagram. She followed me back, and it was like, you know, she was my celebrity crush. Of course, I DM'd her within an hour. With not even, I was driving to class because I was finishing my PhD, and I stopped and DM'd her because, let that go. I have window of 10 minutes before you might unfollow me. So I pulled the car over and messaged her, So yeah, do I do well online? Sure. Right. Do a lot of men do well online? Sure. Do a lot of women do well online? Sure. The opposite can be true. Some men don't do well online because all they have to offer is a body, right? Some women don't do well online because they don't have much to talk about. The reality is a lot of men like to send the D pic. They like to send something vulgar. And I got to think to myself, this is something we'll talk about throughout the show. Would you do that if you were in person? Would you, I know you wouldn't because it's illegal. Would you be in a bar and just whip it out? No, you wouldn't because you're not an idiot. Well, you are an idiot, but you're not that big of an idiot, right? Then again, I don't know men as well as I think I do. I know women a lot better. So let's talk about, the experience kind of offline. So offline, there are two times in which I've kind of enjoyed that kind of offline experience. Number one was definitely like post-college, or, when I there were a couple of breaks that my girlfriend and I took in college. So that was kind of fun. You go to the bar and you kind of pick up on whoever you pick up on, and they kind of pick up on you, and it's kind of a fun vibe. So that was dope. And then, after when my ex-wife and I broke up, so now we're talking, I'm in my late 20s, still not too bad. We split up, and I went out, and I went out to the bars, and I went and I met people, and I, met people through friends and that kind of stuff. And, it was pretty, pretty fun to go out there and kind of meet people. But again, it's the same kind of like vibe, you don't really get to know people at the bar, so that's not for me. It's more like you're grooving to a song, and then all of a sudden they're grinding on you, and you're grinding on them, and you're kissing, and then you're taking them home, right? That's never going to be my style, but again, that could be your style. And look, you're going to learn a lot more about somebody in that 10 minutes than you're going to learn ever in a month with an online dating app. You're going to see how they taste, how they smell, how they kiss, do they grab your hair, do they grab your waist, do they, you learn stuff. I'm not saying go out and be a slut, but go out and have fun, Now, fast forward a couple of years, I did the online thing for some time. And then, I kind of realized too, it kind of got boring. First of all, Vegas is a small town, even though a lot of people think it's a big city. Small town. There are a lot of tourists here. So yeah, you can go on a dating app Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you might meet some new people, but odds are you're gonna swipe right on the same people. And you've either gone out with them already, or there's a reason you didn't go out with them. So, freshen things up a little bit, right? The funny thing is, when I Googled, ditch the dating app, or how to date online how to date without a dating app, all I found were websites that matched people up. Still weren't like places for you to meet. You know what I mean? So like, where would you meet? Like, give me some comments if you want. Like, I'll talk to you a little bit about where would you meet. I'll tell you where I've had some success in meeting people that I thought were pretty cool in my book. Once in a while at the bar, sure. I think that you could do that. I would say in professional settings, at conferences, you can meet people. You can tend to meet people. I've met one or two people at church or outside of church for sure. Family gatherings, like friends of family or friends of friends. I've met people at the park, or at bowling alleys, things where you have mutual kind of interests. I've even met people, like in some of the oddest of places. I remember, I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the grocery store. I mentioned this earlier, and I'm in. It was a big grocery, Winco, I think. If you've never been to a Winco here in Vegas, they're pretty big stores. It's kind of like a mixture of a Costco and a regular grocery store, because you don't need a membership. And I'm like in the store, and I'm like doing some pretty serious shopping. I'm like, let me spend $200-300 to get some groceries, fill the freezer up, get some good food in the house. And I'm looking for like keto, if they have like cauliflower crust pizza, like low carb. And so I'm going up in any aisle. I'm like literally passing through the aisles, and this one woman like keeps passing me, and we kind of keep nodding at each other, And finally, after like the third time, I said, "Look, if you're just trying to hit on me, like just do it already. Like if you're trying to get my number, just get it done, And she kind of laughs and whatever. And we kind of pass by again, and we passed by again. And I said, "Look, I said, obviously you think I'm funny. I said, can I have your number? And sure, she gave me your number, and we never wound up going out because I wanted to talk to somebody else. But it wasn't a terrible thing. But I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, I've been at a hookah bar where somebody approaches me or is a friend of a friend and thinks I'm cute, and it's like, all right, cool. Like let's exchange numbers. Let's see if this is actually a thing. You know what I mean? But I will tell you this. Maybe it's just me, but try it and tell me you don't get a more exhilarating feeling. I don't care if you're a man, woman, I don't care who you are. Tell me you don't get a better feeling than when you're talking to somebody in person versus on the dating app. On the dating app, you know what to expect. It's going to go one of three ways, okay? You're going to connect mildly, and it's going to take you 2 months to even go out if you do go out. Okay, fine. This happens all the time, okay? You're going to connect right away. You're going to go out, and maybe it sparks something. Okay, cool. They're going to say something gross or obscene, and they're going to send you their D, right? And then to block them, or they're just not going to hit it off. You know what to expect. You know it. So how is that fun, right? Try going out somewhere else. So let's see what some of the experts say. I loved clicking on kind of what some of the experts say. The first thing I do want to say, when I Google searched, I Google and I Binged. When I Google and Binged, all I found were websites about dating apps, meetup groups. Nothing actually gave me tips on like how to meet people without an app. All they were giving me like alternative apps. You know what I'm saying? Just stupid, really stupid. So let's see. We've got medium.com, which we know we love, by Kirsty Taylor, MBG, Mind Body Green Relationships.com or mindbodygreen.com, and then society19.com. That sounds like a cult or something. All right, so we'll start with medium.com. Medium.com, she talks about, hate dating on apps, and I hate dating on apps too. She says, hey, go out into the world, turn off the screen and look up. That number, turn off the screen and look up, to me is like, I remember this. I remember I was on a subway, and this is how much of a pansy I am. I was on a subway, and I saw this beautiful woman. Oh, she was like so stunning. I went on Tinder to see if maybe we were close enough in like proximity that like Tinder would put her in front of me, and I swiped the entire time. What a fool. Like, I could have had a great date with somebody, but I literally went on Tinder. You know what I mean? Turn off the screen and look up, get out into the world. I love that. Then she says, shoot your shot. Now, this is where most of us can't do it. But I'm telling you, the worst thing that's going to happen, especially if you're a guy, say something funny. You know what I mean? Like they'll laugh at you with you, hopefully. You took your shot. It's a fun, or they'll say I have a boyfriend, and they probably don't, but that's fine. You know what I mean? Like they're letting you down easy. Don't press it any further. You know what I mean? If you're a woman and you want to date somebody and you shoot your shot, oh my God, you know how flattering that is? I had a girl come up to me at a bar, and she was a little too aggressive. She kind of started grabbing stuff. I didn't give her consent to grab, but she was all over me, and she was beautiful, and I was like super attracted to her. And so it was like a fun night. We danced and we kissed, and it was a good night. And I was super flattered that happened. So shoot your shot, meet your friends' friends. I think that's dope too. Like, why wouldn't you meet your friends' friends? I mean, these are your friends. So if they probably like people who like you, who are like you, you know what I mean? Say yes more. Let's see what it says about saying yes more. Okay, it just says say yes to a date more. I mean, I guess, I think that's fair. I would say yes more. Don't be afraid of rejection. Well, yeah, no kidding. Don't be afraid of rejection, and that's it. That's the one. Those are the rules there. Then Mind Body Green says what you need to know about meeting people in real life instead of on a dating app, which I love. Places to meet people without dating. They say, okay, here's a great list. Okay, number one, a meetup group, which is fine. Networking events for your industry. I love that. Alumni events from your college or high school. Smart. Sports clubs like running, biking. Yeah, I don't want to be like sweating while I'm meeting somebody. That's fine. Gyms and yoga studios, same thing. Friends setting you up, I think is smart. Friends of friends at group gatherings. Yep. Fun educational classes and hobbies. I love that. Like, let's go paint and wine and sip wine as a group and see if there's some people we can meet up with. Your religious community. I said church already. Volunteer groups, dog parks. Oh, so there was like such an attractive woman at the dog park a few months ago, and I like brought my dog there. My dog was playing with her dog, and she kind of looked over me, and I looked over at her, and again, such a 9 times out of 10, I want you to know that I can ask for the number, but like late in that situation, I don't know, I was tired or something, and I said, I don't even know what I said, but she was so cute. I mean, she dressed really nice. She was so cute, and I said, do you come to the dog park often? She said, yeah. I said, well, I hope I see you again, not just because my dog likes playing with your dog or something like that. And she kind of giggled, and I wanted to go back and ask for a number, but I didn't. But like, even just that fun interaction's like cool. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. Shoot your shot, and who never knows? I mean, I'm not really interested right now because I'm pretty okay. I feel great and I'm good with the people in my life, but who knows if I saw her again? She probably would have been like, oh yeah, that's the moron who hit on me or whatever, and I could have gotten her number. Camping groups and outdoor classes, yep. Book groups at your local bookstore, love that. Coffee houses, love that. Yeah, just be careful people aren't like in the middle of working while you're in the middle of coffee houses, right? Then they say the real reason people don't like dating apps is talks about fear of rejection, fear of the unfounded. Yeah, I mean, I think you're better off meeting somebody who's got mutual interests, but what do I know? Why you're going to need the same skills dating online and dating in real life. I 100% agree. It basically says they think it's easier and takes less time to be online, but you're going to hate dating offline as well because it's going to require that same kind of energy. I don't know though. I found it more exciting. I found it more exciting to not date online. So now society19.com says a couple of ways to find a date without dating. Number 1, do things you love. Love that. Go to an amusement park, go to a movie, go to events alone, hit the bar scene solo. I love that. Do it. Honestly, doing anything alone, look, women are different than men, right? You do something alone, you put yourself in danger, right? So maybe do something in a group or share your location with other folks. Men can a little more easily not have to worry about that. Go to events alone, hit the bar scene solo. I can't tell you how many times back when I was like really seriously dating and even more recently, I've done things solo and I've gotten approached, or people just are like, what a mysterious looking guy over there. You know what I mean? It happens. It totally happens. Hit the bar scene solo, travel by yourself. Oh my God. Traveling by yourself. When you are traveling by yourself, you've got this crazy amount of confidence that occurs, and you're like, I could take on the world. I could definitely get that girl's number, and you do. Now the problem is you're traveling, so you got to be pretty clear about what your intentions are. Like I met this girl. One of my favorite trips. I did a trip from New York. I'll read that in a second, Manny. You're awesome. I went from New York all the way down to the Panhandle of Florida and back up in a car in an SUV I rented, and just kind of hit everything every which way. And I was in North Carolina or I think it's South Carolina, and I'm at this bar and I meet this woman, and she's super cute, super attractive, so my type. And she goes, "What's up? Like, what's your story?" And I said, "Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm a sleazy New Yorker. I'm only here for one night, but I'd love to get to know you for that night. And it doesn't mean we have to do anything intimate, but I'm here. You know what I mean?" And so, she came back to the hotel room. We didn't do anything crazy. We got to know each other. There was a little snuggling involved, probably. And we went to the farmers market the next morning, and it was a great day. It was really cool. Mana has a comment here. What did her comment say? A lot of churches, colleges, and community centers will host events or activities. It's always fun yeah, dude, like totally. A group of friends at a church group. Like if you're a Christian, like go meet some other Christians. You know what I mean? Like community centers, colleges, absolutely. You want to meet the people who are your people. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that if you're not a churchgoer, you can't find your people. I mean, look, if going to the sex club is your thing, do that. They're going to be your people. You know what I mean? That's why I miss Blockbuster. I just miss it because you can go on a Friday night. You go over to the action section, which is exactly where I'm going, or the drama section, and you're just picking out your movie, and you see somebody picking out a similar movie, and you're like, hey, that's a great movie, and then you can talk about it, and then you can get each other's number. But we don't do that anymore because Netflix sucks. Anyway, hang out at places that you love. Yes. Get in touch with that crush in high school. Ooh, that's interesting. I want to read this. Did you have a crush on someone in high school? Use social media or mutual friends to get back in touch. Reconnecting with them can rekindle an old flame and may go further than it did in high school. Interesting. I had somebody reach out to me after college when my ex-wife and I broke up. And So the woman who reached out to me was somebody I had hooked up with, but her best friend was somebody I really had wanted to date. We tried to date a couple times. And she's like, I'm not going to use her name, but she's like, hey, I'm sitting with Samantha. We're at the pool right now. We're out on vacation. She goes, did you and your wife split up? I said, yeah, we split up. She goes, you should reach out to Samantha. Just like that. You should reach out to Samantha. And we did. We dated for a couple months and didn't work out. We're not the same people we were in college. But yeah, I mean, you look at somebody in high school that maybe even you didn't have a crush on. People show up on my timeline on Facebook. I'm like, whoa, where were you in high school? Maybe you look different or whatever, And believe me, I'm not that guy. I'm not a superficial guy. So it wasn't that. I probably just didn't notice, If you commute, strike up a conversation with the cutie sitting next to you. I love that. On Long Island, when you go from Long Island to New York City, we had what's called train friends. Because the Long Island Railroad, you could be on the Long Island Railroad for like 40 minutes to 60 minutes in some cases, even longer. So you tend to sit in the same spot on the train, and then it's like, all right, you get to know the people on the train. And so they were your train friends. They were your train buddies. Why not ask one of them out to coffee, or maybe somebody that you're not a train friend with, so it's not awkward, right? Make small talk with the person next to you on treadmills in the gym. I'm going to disagree with that. When I'm on the treadmill, I don't want to talk to you, and I don't expect you to want to talk to me either. But I'll make small talk with somebody on the line at the grocery store. I'll make small talk with somebody, while we're waiting for our coffee. I'll make small talk with somebody while we're at the library. Maybe not the library, but at a food truck festival, I'll make some small talk. Have your friend set you up on a blind date? Not so much. I'll have you set me up on a date. I don't want to go on a blind date, and I don't think that's... Let's see what it says. Your friends, especially those who have known you for years, know you more than you know yourself. I don't know if it's a blind... I don't know if I want to do a blind date, but I will say friends sitting up with friends is cool. I've had that happen before. Messaged somebody, and I was like, she and I were friends. I'm like, yo, find me someone like you that's single. And she's like, well, my best friend is. I was like, well... And she literally looked similar to her. Was single, had similar minds. I'm like, what were you doing? Why were you holding on to this person? We hit it off. It was nice. Did it work out? No, it didn't work out, but it was nice. It was exhilarating. It was fun. But I think the point is, what are we learning? If you're like me, and you don't have to be to listen to my show. I hope you're not. Hope you bring some diverse thought to what's going on in life. But if you are like me, or you share some similar beliefs, you're probably sick of this whole pattern of date somebody for 3 months, swipe right on, blah, 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 keep going back on the dating apps, find somebody new, see the same old people. It gets old, Yeah, apps are great. Amazon Prime is great. You know what else is great? Going to the store. You know what else is great? Going to the bar, going to the restaurant, going to the library, going to the church, going to whatever, and finding somebody who might strike your interest. It happens. It used to happen all the time. It used to happen in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You used to find somebody, you used to give them your varsity jacket, and then you got married. That's not necessarily what we need to do today, because that's a little, patronistic. No, patriarchal. But there's some niceties to that, to meeting somebody in person. So what did we learn? We learned that I hate online apps. We learned that I'm still pretty good at them. We learned that there are an infinite amount of ways that you can meet people, and I think it's important that we explore that. I think that we're at a point now in our lives where the apps are getting old. You see a lot of people shopping where they wouldn't shop before because they hate going on Amazon.com. Well, it's the same thing. Tinder is the Amazon.com of people. You're swiping right, you're swiping left, you're passing judgment on people, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, go out and meet somebody who might have similar interests to you, without looking at their stupid profile or their pictures of them with a tiger or whatever the hell. So anyway, that's my rant's over for the evening. I want to thank everybody for engaging tonight. Hey, you have been watching WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. I hope what we learned today was fun. I'm your host of the Barbershop, Dr. Christopher Salute. I think, if you really want to meet somebody, it's not just exclusive to being on a dating app. You can go out there and you can do your thing. I hope that you took some of the things that we said today and have jotted them down in your brain. Go out there, have some fun. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for engaging. And thanks for watching The Barbershop. Cut.